Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5th episode of the We're Going 5 podcast, powered by TSH Tennis. I'm Yousef.
Hi, I'm Ismaeel.
Hey guys, I'm Haroon.
We have so much to talk about this week. We have a special episode. We kind of have a special episode because, as you can see, I'm the only one in the studio. This is a satellite episode, all three of us in different places at the same time. But we have a lot of interesting things to talk about. We are giving out report cards first and foremost to all our top 10 players. We have some interesting stuff. What's going on with the entire list of the long list of people that are retiring this season or have retired this season? We have some spicy, no spicy takes this week. And then we're going to cap it off with our favorite matches of the season. It's report card time. We have some grades that we want to give. It wasn't that easy. So many guys had amazing seasons, and we had to give them grades. So we're going to go through them all right now. So to start off, Haroon, take it away with number 10.
Grigor Dimitrov, the Bulgarian baby fed. Amazing player. Everybody loves to watch him. Good guy, Grigor. I love Grigor.
I love
Grigor. We love Grigor.
Everybody loves Grigor. Why? He's a great sportsman. He has really nice tennis style, and he has some great results also. How would you guys grade this season? Yousef, how would you grade him?
I'm gonna start this. Okay, so
Yeah, let's take it on to you.
If we look back at like last season, I'm gonna talk about myself since I'm the one giving my own grades. And please, everyone, do not be so harsh. These are my own grades, okay? So the 2023 season ended in like an amazing fashion for Grigor, making it to the final of the Paris Masters. Was on the doorstep of making
2022.
It to the ATP.
You said 2022.
Last season, 2023.
Yes. Okay.
What's up with me and numbers?
I don't know.
Anyways, so 2023, the Paris Masters final last season, lost to Djokovic, the king of the Paris Masters, basically. And then I'm like, okay, next season I expect Grigor to have an amazing run. And he had a good season. I think he made to the second week of three of the four slams. So it was an amazing Grand Slam season. Not the best, but it was a good one. I made it to the Miami Masters final, and then obviously back into the top 10. I have a bone to pick with what's going on with him retiring from matches. Is this fatigue, or is this he just has some, I don't know.
How many did he retire
physically?
from?
I don't.
How many matches
Like
did he retire
in
from?
the last month of the season, I think it's had like 3 or 4 matches in the last few months of the season. 3 or 4, yeah.
Jamie, pull it up.
Like, and then the Khashanov match, he was dead against Khashanov in the Paris Masters, and then it wasn't a retirement, but it was as close as you can get. But I'm not going to ramble that much, but I feel like that was an issue. I feel like we saw with the big guys, and he takes care of his body. We saw with Roger Rafa, Novak till now, Stanislas Wawrinka till now, Murray to the last second. Their bodies, like, they were fine. They wouldn't retire from matches. So what's going on with him there? So that knocked him a bit for me. But I'm going to go with a B+ for Grigor on the 2024 season.
Wow, that's crazy. That's ludicrous.
It's a B+. It would have been higher if
Would have been higher.
Different ways.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm harsh. Maybe I'm not. But I gave it a B+. Ismaeel, what did you give him?
Ismaeel. Huh.
Well, you kind of took everything I was gonna say, so there's not much left for me to mention. But the thing I'm really impressed with Grigor is that he hasn't been in the top 10 for 7 years, and the last time he was in the top 10 was when he was world number 3, and he's dealt with injuries, he dealt with the mental pressures that come with being a top player. We saw before this year and last year he talked about his goal was to get back to the top 10. His goal was to compete in big tournaments. And you know what? Since the end of last year and into this year, he has, as you mentioned, he's performed well in slams. He had a lot of good Masters results this year. And a special mention for me because this is when I felt like Dimitrov is about to take off. He took down Alcaraz. Remember last year in that epic match when he took him out in Shanghai in 3 sets? And then this year, he faced Alcaraz again in, I believe it was Miami. Yeah, he faced him in Miami, quarterfinal, and he took him out in straight sets. So he's capable of taking out the top players. For me, aside from the, I don't remember how many matches.
He might be Alcaraz's kryptonite, but I don't know if he's like Haroon says, he loses who he's supposed to lose to, and he beats who he's supposed to beat.
No, but he's not supposed to beat Alcaraz. He's not supposed to beat Alcaraz. And he beat Alcaraz twice convincingly. And I think he's been quite healthy all season. Like his body has held up, and much better than years prior. His level has been solid for the most part all season. And he deserves to be back in the top 10. Welcome back, Grigor. One of the most fun players to watch.
Give us a grade.
I also give it a B+, but I'm not so harsh. I'm really positive. It's a B+ for Grigor. Well done. It's an excellent season.
Wow,
okay.
that's
so
you,
okay. Then Haroon, you're not happy. Tell us why you're not happy.
I would love to take courses with you guys. You give me really nice grades. I feel like it's overinflated. It's really inflated. Yes, Grigor has had a good season. He's been a little bit, in the shadows the past few years, especially after he had that great season where he won the ATP finals and he got world number 3. Yes, that was a great year. But since then, he hasn't been really showing us. He didn't really build off of that season. He's been kind of a player that that you fear in the draw, but he's not going to be having a really long, great season. He's had good seasons, but he exceeded my expectations this year. 46 and 18, that's win-loss record. That's really good. Having a 6-5 record against the top 10, also good. So it was a good year. And
you're making the case for a high grade, huh? Tell us what you're gonna.
Yeah, just give us a grade.
But the thing is, if you're giving him a B+, then what are you gonna give the rest of the guys? So you have to grade on some sort of curve, even though not everything is comparable. I give him a B. It's a good season.
Okay. Well, it's not that far off from a B+.
But he's.
Why were you so surprised with our grades?
Yeah, because then B+ is still, he didn't really do that well. It's not an amazing season. It's a good season.
You do know we're talking about the top 10 players in the world this season, right? We're talking about the top 10. So the best of the best of the best.
Yes. Yes. I know. I'm well aware.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you guys think about the rest of the guys. So
all right. Well,
let's proceed.
That's a perfect segue into our next guys. Let's see how unbiased you are, Haroon. Next up, we have Alex Minaur, the Demon. Haroon, what's your score? What's your grade? What's your grade for the Demon?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to be. I have to be really, honest and unbiased as much as.
You mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be unbiased. No, see.
Let's see.
Demon. I'm a big fan of Demon. Demon's my guy. He has had also a good season, a great season. His win-loss record, it's good. 47 and 21, great. To achieve plus 45 wins, plus 45 wins, and have less than or in the range of 20s in terms of losses. That's good. It's very hard to get that. Also,
give us a grade.
his top 10 record is 5 and 11.
How come with your guy you're going down the entire list?
He's
everything.
I would say he's on the lower side. He barely made a B. In my opinion, he's made a B because you don't expect.
Wow!
Oh
my God!
You don't expect.
Oh my God.
You don't expect it.
Oh my God!
You don't.
Can I go, please? Can I?
You're not even
giving a B.
fair
Do you have
to
anything
your
else
own
to add to
boy.
this?
You're not even fair to
Do you have
your
anything
own
else to
boy.
add?
What he thought? Like he's barely making a B, but I would maybe a B minus, but it's a B.
Oh,
it's a B because he made the 80.
Okay, Yousef, give us your grade. We heard enough from Haroon. Go, Yousef, go.
Okay, I think this is You're going way off the rails at the moment. Let me just jump in here. So first of all, Demon, amazing season, the best season of his entire career, made it to the quarters of every single Grand Slam. Okay, so this is your boy Haroon, so you should be happy. First ATP
Except
finals
Australia.
appearance.
Very happy.
He didn't make the
Incredible, which is something-
quarterfinal of
so-
Australia. He didn't make it to the quarterfinal of Australia. He fell short. I think it was. round
Okay, so
16
3 of the
in
4 slams.
Yeah, round of 16 also.
Someone, I need someone to check that. Fine. Okay, round of
Jamie,
so round of
Jamie,
16,
Jamie.
then
Jamie, pull it up, Jamie.
Okay, so made to the second round, and he made to the quarters 3 of the 4 slams, ATP finals, and then won Acapulco, amazing, winning an ATP 500, lost in the final of Rotterdam to Sinner, which is also an amazing result, and he won also. Let me get this one right, because this is one of the toughest things to pronounce. Zertogenbos, that won at grass court. So he's won on grass.
You need to work on your Dutch.
He's won on hard. Yeah, I need to work on my Dutch clearly, and I haven't seen you try to pronounce that. But to me, if I'm gonna grade each person based on their previous seasons, not just in general. So to me, Alex de Minaur, the best season of his career, making it to what I said, this, and this. I'm gonna give Alex de Minaur an A.
What?
I'm
in
giving
the
him
world?
an A. Yes. I think he had an amazing season. I think he took the next step based on what I saw last season. To me, Alex de Minaur gets an A for the 2024 season. 100%.
I love to see it. I love to
stand by
see it. That's great. That's
I
great.
stand by.
Yeah.
You gave him a B minus.
No, I
by
gave him a B. I gave a borderline B. He's a B. He made it to a B.
Okay.
Sure. Who wants to take courses with me now?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah. All right. Well, my turn.
Smile.
You guys already said everything about his season. I think the 2 titles for the year, the Demon should be proud of that. He should be very proud about his slam performances, very good Masters performances throughout the year.
Amazing.
He stayed pretty much healthy the entire
Yeah.
year. Level has been solid for the entire year. Also earning an
Even though
ATP
Smythe, let me also add, when he got cut, when he got injured, then he at
Very
Wimbledon,
impressive.
and he couldn't even play the quarterfinal match, and then he came back in the U.S. Open, made it to the quarters. Like, he came back so fast, and he continued his amazing season.
Yeah,
right?
he's been really consistent, and he's been really resilient. Has been and for such a physical player, that's so hard. It really demands. It's taking a toll on his body, and he should be very proud of that. He should be very proud of making it to the ATP finals. It's an honor that not many players get to witness in their entire life. So definitely well deserved. This is his highest ranking he's ever reached. He's been improving for the past 3-4 years. Every single year he goes more and more and more up in the rankings. I think I wouldn't doubt what levels he can unlock next. But I mean, the competition at the top is so hard. I think we might look back and say this was Demon's best season ever. And I give it an A minus.
Yet.
Yeah.
I give him an A minus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're close. So far, me and you are close. Haroon is far off a bit.
Haroon
'cause
is
he's a
far off.
super harsh grader.
He's even
I'm
harsh
grading
on
on
his
a
own guys.
curve. Everybody, I have to grade on a curve. Everybody, you can't just give on random
I have no idea
grades
what
like
that
that.
means.
Yeah.
You're giving Demon the best season of his career and a B minus.
Yeah,
Which
okay.
makes no sense to me.
And I don't.
Everybody
honestly,
can't
like,
just keep on getting A's.
No disrespect to the Demon. I honestly don't know if he can ever replicate this season. Remember when Schwartzman had that epic season?
No.
I don't know if the Demon will be able to have another great season. This was a great season from the Demon. It was really great.
He's still young and he has a lot of stuff to unlock, and he's really mentally
I won't
composed.
doubt
There's
it. I won't doubt
so
it.
much.
But there's a possibility this might be his best season ever.
Yet we
To be fair
shall
though,
see.
he showed that he can add to his game. So I'm expecting him to add more to his game.
What
this
has he
offseason.
added to his
And
game?
I'm expecting
What has he
that
added to his game?
He's moving forward much more. He's being more aggressive. It's not just the basic. I'm just picking up everything from the back and waiting for you to miss. No, he's attacking. He's moving forward. His volleys are amazing now. Like when you watch the Demon play tennis. To be honest, when I would watch the Demon play tennis before, I was kind of bored at some times.
Hater.
Like now when I'm watching the Demon play, let me finish. When I'm watching the Demon now, I'm like, okay, this is some fun tennis to watch. So yeah, he has improved his game to me, and I expect him to improve even more. And more.
The Demon is a counterpuncher. You're right. He is moving forward a little bit more, he still gets eaten alive by Tsitsipas, who owns him, and Sinner, who can play these really aggressive players. He doesn't really know how to counter them, and whoever plays more aggressive against him, it seems that he struggles. But you're right, he does improve a lot. Let's see what he brings to the next year.
Okay,
We
so
shall
we're
see.
done with that. Moving on to the next, and this is my boy. So I'll introduce him. Number 8, ending his season at number 8, Andrey Rublev. Haroon, give us your grade. Give us a breakdown as to why you picked it.
B minus. Starting.
Okay.
B minus.
Why?
Rublev was just giving out top 10 wins. Here, you have a top 10 win. You have a top 10 win. You have a top 10 win, and also with some spicy mental breakdown in the match. I love Rublev. Might be one of the nicest people on tour. You want to be his friend. He's a great guy. We're all supporters of Rublev. But just if you want to analyze his tennis and his performance, that wasn't a great year for him, especially in his standards. I expected much more from Rublev. It feels like he peaked. He reached a plateau. B minus. I didn't like his performance this year. What about you, Ismaeel?
Yeah, for me, we all root for Rublev because he's just such a sweet person. Unfortunately, really, according to his standards, this has not been a great season. Also been really bad form since the U.S. Open. I think he's 5-14 to end the season.
Even before the US Open.
And it wasn't looking great. And so, it's been rough. His Grand Slam performances also underwhelming. Aside from the quarterfinal at the Aussie Open, round 1 Wimby, round 3 RG, round 16 US Open. Because he ended the season so ice cold, and because we have such high standards from Rublev, I'm gonna be a little bit harsh on Andrey Rublev here, and I give him a C+.
Oh,
Okay.
wow!
Okay.
You're more harsh than I am.
But you gave a B minus, so not that far off.
Yeah,
not
but
that far off.
Also, Haroon gave
Still, he
Dimitrov a
gave-
B. He said Dimitrov could get B minus, and he gave Rublev a B minus. So Haroon is way off here on his rankings. But yeah, because of Rublev's standards,
What's way off? What's way off?
Your grading
Rublev's
system is just
Rublev's standards.
You need to manage
He's-
that rubric. He's
had the lowest wins in the top 10. He has the lowest wins in the top 10. He gets the lowest grades, even by his standards, even by everybody's standards. That's a bad season for a top 10 player. 43.
Fine. You guys gave your grades. Haroon, you gave him a B minus. You gave him a B minus.
I gave him a B
Ismaeel,
minus.
You gave him a C plus. Okay. So this is my boy. So I'm a big fan of Rublev. He's my favorite player on tour at the moment. He had an amazing start to the season. I'm like, okay, he won in Hong Kong, and then losing in the quarterfinals in Australia. But who did he lose to? He lost to the eventual champ. He lost to Sinner. I'm like, okay, maybe Rublev was gonna have a good season, and then he just dipped for a while there. It wasn't good in any way. And then he won Madrid. Then like, okay, he's coming back. He won Madrid Masters, another Masters title after that Monte Carlo one he won a few years ago. I'm like, okay, Rublev is he gonna come back? And then just nope, that did not happen. Like you said, Ismaeel, what we saw in Wimbledon, what we saw in Roland Garros, and you expect this guy to be at least making the quarterfinals of the slams. But he did make it to the ATP finals in the end. So obviously it's a good season. But to Rublev's standards, it's not that high. And since I'm a big fan of him, my grade at the end is going to be a B minus. I tried to take everything into consideration. Obviously, that Masters win in Madrid made a difference, but overall, this was a disappointing season to Andrey Rublev's standards. So for me, it's a B minus, 100%.
Yeah, well, you're a bit more generous than most of us at the moment. But for Andrey, just want to add, like,
I would probably go down to a C plus like you, Ismaeel. But the Madrid Masters made a difference.
The Madrid Masters was awesome to see him come through with that. For me, also, it's just the number of meltdowns we saw from him this season. It's not a good look for him, and he seems to be really struggling mentally on the court. And Murray likes to have those scruffles on court with himself as well, and he says it motivates him. I'm not sure what Rublev is doing is motivating him. I think it's probably more net negative at the moment, and I hope to see him clean that up, to be honest. Yeah.
You know, there was this cool interview when they had Rublev and Medvedev. They were both next to each other and they were answering these different questions. The ATP did it, and then he told him, "What's one thing you wish for?" Because they're both best friends. What's one thing you wish for him? And then Medi said, "I wish for him to be happy." So and then he told him and then Rublev was like, "Oh, why not wishing for me to be a Grand Slam champion or wishing me to be, I don't know, make a semi-final of a slam or whatever?" And he told him, if that's what makes you happy, then I wish that. He just wishes for you to be happy. So I think, which also talks to Ismaeel, that point where you talked about that, like these guys, when they get married and they have kids, they have like, they widen their perspective on life. So so Rublev maybe just needs to take a step back and look at life in a different way. Not everything's wins and losses. So maybe, I don't know what's going to change that, but.
I think you just implied that he needs to get married. I think that's... I have your record.
You're loving the marriage talk.
Maybe just a step back. It doesn't have to be marriage. Maybe it's something else. Like just taking a step back.
Let's see.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on, and let's move on to the GOAT of all GOATs, guys. Djokovic.
That's why he's the GOAT.
Novak Djokovic, the one and only Nole. Yousef, start us off. What's your grade for the man himself?
Okay, so also we said we're going to grade everyone differently, but Novak Djokovic is graded completely differently than everyone else. This guy came off, he went back-to-back season winning 3 slams. Obviously, the world number 1, no one can even touch him. This season was a bit different, huh? It was a bit different. And then he came into the Australian Open and like he finished last season just on fire. I'm like, this season we're going to see the same old Djokovic? Wasn't the same energy. We saw what happened in Australia with Sinner. And then no slams this season. And then, but to me, what I saw in RG was amazing. I'm going to get to that in a bit when we talk about our favorite matches. But he tore his MCL, made it to the quarters, then came back from injury less than a month after that. Wimbledon making it to the final, which is also amazing, especially at this age. And then winning the Olympic gold, like that was special. But nothing else. U.S. Open, lost to Popyrin, and then he comes back, Shanghai Masters, made it to the final, lost to Sinner again. And then, but the thing is for Djokovic, the dip that we saw, so for winning tournaments, the dip that we saw was him making it to finals, correct? Or losing in the semis or something. But to Djokovic's standards, I'm going to have to give this season, even though the Olympics was amazing, I'm going to have to give this season a B.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow, that was rough.
Whoa,
That's
take a step back there, fella.
That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT.
I have to give it a B. He is a victim of his own success. He's a victim of his own success.
No, okay, your time's up, my friend. Your time's up, my friend. Here... Would you want to take it away, Ismaeel? You want to
No,
speak?
Go ahead.
You go. Okay, so this is, he has a different season than everybody else. Everybody else played almost like a full season. You can compare their wins and losses to some extent, and you can see, okay, they did this and that and whatever. Djokovic he selected some tournaments. He didn't play the whole season, and also he had performances very different than everybody else. Winning a gold medal already puts you in a different stratosphere. So already that guarantees you just like 75% of the grade. And then other than that, his slam...
Talking about the season. We're not talking about one tournament.
Yes.
We're talking about the entire season.
Okay. His Australian Open semi-final. He made the Wimbledon final. He also made a RG. That was a great performance and he could have won it. I believe he could have won it. So in terms of his performance when he was playing, to me, that was fantastic. I love watching Djokovic this year. Maybe in the beginning of the year wasn't so great. But, okay, my grade is he gets an A.
Wow, Haroon comes back with the A.
Ismaeel, what do you think? What do you think about Djokovic's season?
Yeah, Djokovic is the GOAT. Let's all remember that. Let's keep that in perspective. I remember at the end of last year, that was one of the most amazing seasons to ever witness. And you know, he kind of ended it a bit too confidently or almost cocky. You know what he said? Next year I'm going to go for it all, like all 4 slams. And, you know, you can't replicate that season. And I had a bad feeling. I was just like, yeah, that's tough to do. You already did.
He can.
Only he can do these crazy things. And yeah, and also I had a feeling that match with Sinner at the Davis Cup broke something. I just felt it. I don't know what I felt. I just felt like losing the 3 match points to take out Sinner in Italy to move on. I felt like it broke something in that dynamic, and maybe even him mentally. It started off with a very bad Australian Open for his standards, where he couldn't take, or Sinner took him out pretty convincingly. That being said, he's been much more selective this year than ever. He's played much less tournaments probably than ever. He's also been doing side cuts the whole season. It's been all about Djokovic, the persona, this whole year, and he's officially larger than life. And the gold medal for me is that was just the chef's kiss. That was just magnificent. It was so awesome. And just because of that, he completed tennis. Just because of that, his grade this year for me is an A+. It is an A+. He completed tennis. When you complete tennis, tennis, that is an amazing season.
Emotional. You're being too emotional.
And I am being exactly what I'm supposed to be. He completed tennis. It is an A+. It is an A+. It is an A+. He got injured, and despite his knee injury,
that's
took out
being
Alcaraz
disrespectful to Djokovic, by the way. That's being
I think I'm being most respectful to Djokovic.
That way.
Not really, though. Not disrespectful. I don't even know. What is that? What's that mean, disrespectful to Djokovic?
Because the guy has super high standards. He has super high standards. If you're saying him only winning the Olympic gold and nothing else the entire season...
He would say this is his best season.
No, he won't say this is the best season.
Best achievement.
The Olympics... Yeah, he said it was the biggest, but
it was crazy. It was crazy. There was no reason.
Want to talk about
he had no reason to win
week,
the Olympics.
Fine, that was an A+ that week.
He didn't need to win. There's no reason for him. I had no confidence that he would win the Olympics. There was no chance. He was coming off the knee injury, tore his MCL. He can't keep up with Djokovic.
He was coming off a Wimbledon final, so
yeah, and Alcaraz really destroyed him in that Wimbledon final, if we're honest. And because
grass is Alcaraz's favorite surface,
and also Djokovic, I can make a case that's Djokovic. Also
Djokovic on clay has a higher chance of beating Alcaraz than beating him on grass, in my opinion, and that's exactly what we was
saw because it was amazing.
How does that?
His back was against the wall. He's never going to get the chance.
2024 season.
He's never going to get the chance again to win the Olympic gold medal. It's going to be super tough. These guys are already way too good. He had one shot to do it.
It's never going to happen again, of course.
Yeah, one shot.
Now we're having a side conversation. You gave an A+ for him having one good week.
No, maybe it's a little overinflated. It makes it a little inflated, but it's fine.
It was for all the years. He had one shot to win the gold medal for the rest of his life on an injured knee, and he did it. And for me, that's enough to get an A+ this year.
Fine. It's his opinion.
We need you guys to pitch in. Does Djokovic deserve an A+ here for this season? You guys let us know in the comments.
If it's the greatest achievement, if it's the greatest achievement in tennis, then that doesn't deserve something. Okay, fine. If anybody, if they say, okay, if I just choose one thing to win,
you want to look at it in a vacuum. That's not what this is. We're evaluating the entire season.
Yeah, and for that, that validates the whole season.
It's his opinion.
Let's agree to disagree.
It's his opinion. It's a bad one, but it's his opinion.
No, it's not an opinion.
You gave him an A. You gave him an A. I gave him an A+ because he completed tennis.
I gave him a B. I gave Djokovic a B.
Maybe I could have gave him an A-, but it's an A. It's fine. Yousef, you're also overinflating everybody's grades. You're giving everybody A's and stuff like that. But fine. Anyway.
How? I haven't given an A, by the way, and I only gave Demon an A. That's it. I gave no one else an A.
Then Haroon, go ahead. Let's move on.
Let's move on because we're gonna keep on staying like this for hours. Let's move on to one of the most fun players on tour, one of the classiest players.
True.
One of the classiest players on tour, most respectful players on tour. We have my boy Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud. Come on, guys, give me your grades for Casper. Yousef,
Ismaeel, please go ahead. Let Ismaeel go. I need to hear his grades.
Okay, let's go.
I need to hear his grades.
Fine, Ismaeel, show us. What's your grade?
Yeah, sure. Well, Casper is the up-and-coming clay king. He won. He has 2 titles to show for it this year. He won Geneva. He won Barcelona. His Grand Slam performances.
No. He made to the final. He lost to Tsitsipas in Barcelona.
Are you sure?
Okay.
Maybe Jamie pull it up.
I thought he won Barcelona this year. In any case, aside from that,
Wait.
his Grand Slam performances, he had.
Let me check.
I'm pretty.
No,
confident
I think. Yeah, he won. He won Barcelona, by the way. He won Barcelona.
Yeah. So 2 very good tournaments.
My bad.
Hey, don't disrespect put some respect on my boy's name.
Yeah. Semi-final RG. He's been very consistent RG. Round of 16 at US Open, round 2 at Wimbledon, round 3 at the Australian Open. That's not great. He also ended the season pretty much ice cold. So I was gonna be.
He did not. Made the ATP finals semis.
So he ended ice cold except for the semi in the ATP finals, which is an amazing accomplishment. And now he's done that multiple times now. And so because of the fact that he ended up on such a positive in the ATP finals, and despite not being in any good form to come up clutch in the ATP finals, I upped his grade. I give Casper Ruud for this year a B-.
Oh, you upped it to a B-?
You upped it to a B-. Wow, thank you.
Thank you. Why are you so kind? Why are you so kind for upping it to a B-? That's so kind of you.
Yeah, well, because like Rublev, just because
much.
of Casper's standards and because I expect more for him as now a perennial top 10 player and as a multiple-time Grand Slam finalist, I expect more from Casper.
Okay. Then let me go then. Let me give you guys my grade. So first of all, as you said, making it to the ATP finals again, amazing. Love it for Casper. We know that Casper picks up all his points during the clay season. So let's judge him on the clay season and how he did there.
Wow, disrespecting a US Open finalist.
Yep. Okay, fine. I apologize, but he makes he makes his money in the clay season. We all know that. He knows that, and like it's not secret.
And the 3-time semi-finalist in the ATP finals makes his money. Talk about making his money in the clay season.
Okay, let me get through why I made my decision. Then obviously, like you said, Slaney, he won Barcelona and he won Geneva. Amazing wins. Made to the semis in Monte Carlo. Also an amazing run. Made to the semis in RG. Amazing also. So he had, I would say, he had a Casper Ruud season on clay, which was impressive. But he also made, like Haroon said, by the way, made to the final in Acapulco, made to the final in Los Cabos. So he's made it to finals. He hasn't won as many as he would have liked, but he made it to finals. And Wimby, we know we shouldn't expect anything from him in Wimby. He knows it. We know he likes to play golf instead.
That's his golf season.
Taking all that into Timon's golf season. So if I take all of this into consideration, I'm gonna go with a B+ for Casper Ruud in 2024.
Wow.
In your eyes, it might be high. In my eyes,
high.
I look at the clay season. What he did there, made a few finals on hard courts, back in the ATP finals, back into the semis in the ATP finals. So yes, I'm gonna go with a B+ for Casper Ruud. Not the best of seasons for him, but a really good one overall. So a B+ for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Haroon, grade your boy.
Haroon, let's hear it.
Casper Ruud, again, one of the most fun players on tour to watch. Casper Ruud has had a semi-final RG, like you guys said, 3-time. Again, I have to repeat that: 3-time semi-finalists at the ATP finals.
But this is a 2024 season, huh? So let's take everything in the back. You know?
Casper gets a B. Casper gets a B. Why?
Okay. I was the kindest. Okay.
Casper gets a B, one, because he could have got lower, but because he cracked the 50 plus wins, that gives him a B, and because he has a positive record against top 10 players, 6-4, that's good. Like I can't give him more because I'm not that generous as you guys are. But yeah, it's a B. It wasn't great because he was also giving some top 10 wins here for free sometimes like that because he was just feeling good. I don't know. He's in the background. Maybe he's excited about his wedding coming up or something like that. He knows that it's happening, so he's not like he doesn't have a killer instinct. And sometimes, but yeah, he gets a B for me, just to be fair, in my opinion.
Okay, so we were all close. We were all close in this one. Then let's move on to. I think we're gonna be different with our next player, the one and only Daniil Medvedev, former world number 1, Grand Slam champ. Ismaeel, what do you give him for the 2024 season?
Well, Medi Bear, one of the most exciting and just controversially fun players to watch. He started off in epic fashion. That finals in the Australian Open against Sinner, it was such a fun final. And for the rest of the Grand Slam season, I think we expected more from him, as outside from the semifinals in Wimby, round 16 at RG, quarterfinals at Australian Open. His record against the top 10 this year, 6-9. I think we've been used to seeing that a little bit higher from Medi. We expected more titles from Medi this year. We didn't have the kind of hardcore season we're used to. The second half of the season, since 2019, we've been used to having the Medi season, right? He just racks up these tournaments, and he's usually having really deep runs in all of these tournaments. And this year, not the case. I do want to cite, though, his epic fighting record this year. So he's 4-1 in 5th sets this year. So that's awesome, and it shows the kind of grit this guy has.
Give us a grade.
Yeah, so I expect more from Medi. I think we thought it would be another breakout season for him, or top previous seasons. For me, this might be a little bit harsh, but I up it to a B. Solid B for Medi.
Okay.
You keep on saying upping it, so it throws us all off.
You've been upping everyone. You're so kind.
Yeah,
You're upping. I don't know if you're upping or you're just saying that in the last second just to make us feel like, oh, he's being kind.
I really don't want to be disrespectful to someone who made the Grand Slam final this year and who's been amazing all year, but yeah.
I would love people to comment about our grades in the
Also,
end.
let me add, his record against Sinner and Alcaraz is also affecting him here. That's why I've also graded him as a B.
Okay, so Medvedev. How would I grade Medvedev? I had to give a difference. I had to make a difference between everybody else. He's not, his season is not slightly better than anybody else that got a B or whatever, because I was thinking, do I give him a B or an A minus? Medi gets an A minus. Why does Medi get an A minus? Because the only people that stopped him from getting a slam are 3 people, and Sinner, he's obviously lost at the Australian Open in that amazing, crazy final, and he lost also to the US Open to Sinner as well, the eventual champion, and then he lost to Alcaraz in Wimby to also the eventual champion, and then he lost to my boy Demon in the RG. Demon, you just have to smile after you lose to Demon. Just a great loss. But yeah, he has had a good season and I have to give it an A minus, because it's not comparable to everybody else, and he only was stopped by elite players. So yeah, he gets an A minus. That was easy.
I can say with all honesty, I have no idea what system you're using to grade these guys because you're giving the weirdest grades. It's just the weirdest grades. I love Medi so much, and I just love watching him play tennis, and also he's my favorite guy to listen to speak. It's just so fun to listen to him speak. Just a charismatic guy. His tennis this season, he didn't win one tournament. And we're talking about a Grand Slam champion and world number 1, former world number 1. He didn't win one tournament. Australian Open, he was 1 set away. He decided, I'm not going to be aggressive anymore. And then Sinner came back. I actually picked him to win that match. And when I saw him 2 sets stuff up, I'm like, yes, my prediction is correct. And then he went back to playing a completely different style than he should have played against Sinner. And then we all saw what happened. We saw semifinal. He took revenge, though, from Sinner, made it to the semifinal in Wimbledon. And like you said, Haroon, actually this season, 8 of his 18 losses came against Alcaraz and Sinner. So I guess it says a lot of him not having the type of season we expect from Daniil Medvedev. But I think it was a good season. Was it a great season? Will I go as high as A minus? No. I'm gonna go with a solid B for Daniil. It was a good season.
So the same, you gave him the same grade
like
I did. And so why are you critiquing my grade? You gave him the same grade. You gave him the same thing as I did.
I didn't critique your grade.
If he only lose to the best players in the world, only lose to like elite players.
No, that's the thing. You're again, you're not showing this guy the respect he deserves, because that means you're not saying that he is one of them. If he is one of them, then that means he should beat these guys.
It's not. You're not giving him an A plus. That's why he gets a lower grade than an A minus.
The reason
No,
Medvedev.
I'm not giving him an A. Who deserves an A plus?
You're judging him based on results. You're missing the nuance.
I'm judging him based on who he is and what we've seen from him before.
Yeah,
So
well, we have to keep in mind, Medvedev is a former world number 1 player, and he was top 2, top 3 max. He's been dethroned. He's now outside of that.
Okay,
so
it was a different playing field. Different playing field back then, or whatever.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the same playing field.
No.
He's arguably no longer tier 1. He's arguably no longer tier 1. That's what we're talking about now.
Because you have Baby Goat.
This season, he's not tier 1. Fine, but I'm gonna judge him based on tier 1 because that's what he is.
Yeah, but this year he doesn't get a high grade.
Looking at one season,
he doesn't get a high grade this year because he gets.
No,
he's been.
By the way,
dethroned.
me and you agree on the grade. By the way,
yeah,
me and you agree on the grade. So
when you have a machine like Sinner and you have a Baby Goat playing around, the like what's he talking about? It didn't exist before. But yeah, fine. We'll agree to disagree.
100%. We need everyone to respond to us in the comments.
Yes.
And let us know who in the world is making the right decisions, who's making the wrong decisions.
For sure.
Because obviously we're not going to end this. Let's move on to the next one because this is never going to end.
Please do.
Yes.
All right, take us away.
Okay, moving on. We just had some heated debates about all of these players. Now we're continuing on down the list. We have Taylor Fritz, probably one of the surprises of the season. He had a great season. I was really impressed with Taylor Fritz this season. Come on, guys. Let's say Yousef. What's your report card on Taylor Fritz?
So I said before how high I am on Taylor Fritz and how this season was amazing and how impressive he was, and I loved everything about this season, everything about Taylor Fritz at the moment, becoming a bigger fan day by day. What we saw, ATP finals making it to the final, US Open making it to the final, we saw amazing things from Fritz. Well, I feel like though it was the highs were so high and the lows were so low with Fritz. Like I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment at the same time. Because I had to go back and look at the entire season because I was a prisoner of the moment. I saw what he did in the past, I would say the last 25% of the season, which was really impressive. And he's playing with so much confidence at the moment. But if we're going to give a grade for the entire season, I had to look back. There were a bunch of lows and there were some highs, but there were a bunch of lows. He won Delray Beach and all these different things. And he won Eastbourne. But I think there were some lows. There were some early round losses. So for me, when I look at Taylor Fritz, but also reaching a career high of world number 4, the finals that we talked about at the Slams and the ATP finals, and losing to the one and only Jannik Sinner, which was so no one can beat him actually at the moment. So I give Taylor Fritz an A minus.
Okay. Good. Ismaeel, what do you think about that?
I wanted to see what you guys were going to give me with the reaction. No one gave me anything, but I guess maybe that means you guys agree.
We'll see. Ismaeel, what do you think?
So for me, Taylor Fritz, just a player who's showing continuous improvements over the years. He started off the season relatively strong. Quarterfinals in Australia, lost to Djokovic. Rest of the Grand Slam season, RG, Wimby, losing to Ruud and Musetti. All right, round of 16 and quarterfinals respectively. For someone who's top 4 in the world, who eventually finished top 4, maybe those are not the results we expect from a top 4 player. But he ended the season so strongly with the final in the US Open against Sinner, and then also solid performance in the ATP finals. I would say, because of the
semis in Shanghai, I forgot, lost to Djokovic.
Yeah, also that. Good. So the finals in New York and the US Open, even Fritz came out and said that he felt like he was never really in that match, and Sinner really outplayed him the whole match. He was getting dominated forehand to forehand. And in the ATP finals, he said he played him twice in the ATP finals. Sinner beat him twice, but he said that he was more competitive in the round robin match. He felt that he was more in the match. And I did feel that as well watching, and I think he's improving, and he's not yet on their level of the Sinner Alcaraz, but he is someone who can get there. I think he can continuously compete with them. So yeah, it was an okay season, and then ended really strongly because of that. I agree, Yousef, with your call. I also think it's an A- season.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Here's a shocker. I also agree it's an A-.
Wow. Group A- across the board.
A-. That's
Okay, that's our first unanimous grade, whichever A- is. Nice.
he's a great player. He improved a lot this season. Great results. Finalists in ATP finals, really good. And finalists also US Open, although it's his home turf with the home crowd. Still though, he hasn't had that before, and he owns Zverev this year. That gives him an extra edge this year. So yeah, A-.
Okay.
Nice. All right, guys. Time to move to, in my opinion, the most exciting player in sports, Carlitos Alcaraz.
Baby goat.
The one and only Carlitos. Haroon, start us off. What's your grade for Carlitos this year?
Carlitos is very, it's tough to grade him because although he doesn't have that high up in his wins, he's only 54 and 13. So, but he broke the 50 plus wins. So he has to be up high in the A range with A-, A+. Whoa.
Can't wait to hear this grade. Give it to me.
Won 2 slams, silver medalist.
Yes.
I have to give him an A. He deserves an A. Nobody in the, I won't say nobody, but very few people in the history of tennis have won 2 slams in history. So the list is very short. I want to just tell you guys the list of the people. Well, fine. We won't go up into memory lane of all the history, but yeah. He gets it. It's an A from me.
Solid grade. Yousef, do you agree with Haroon's grade?
Right. Do I agree? I do not agree. So taking down, winning RG, we thought taking down Sasha in the final, then winning Wimby, taking down Djokovic in the final, being only the 6th player in history to win the Channel Slam. And then we saw what he did. Then the Olympics, as Haroon said, silver medal in the Olympics, losing to Djokovic in that epic match. And then also I need to include this in this. This was included in why I made why I gave him the grade I gave him. Being undefeated against Jannik Sinner this season, 3-0 against Jannik Sinner this season, and 12 top 10 wins in this entire season for Carlitos. So, if you ask me, and also won Beijing, let's not forget about the Beijing final when he came back in that tiebreak and just played just amazing tennis to win that match against Jannik Sinner. So, if you ask me, Carlos Alcaraz gets an A+ for the 2024 season. I'm sticking with that.
Okay, fine. Smaila, what do you think?
Yeah, solid. You guys, I love Carlos. We all love Carlos. In terms of titles, he's won less titles than last year because last year
also won Indian Wells. Sorry, forgot that one. Yes.
Yeah, he won 6 last year. He won 4 this year, but this year they're 2 slams. And then we had that epic Olympic final. And so, but you know what, guys? The fact that he won 2 slams and the fact that he's unbeaten against Sinner, it just shows that he's the dominant guy. He's ultimately the alpha because he's the only one that really has Jannik's number, and no one else on planet Earth can say that. And he's the most fun player. I mean, he has these random dips. But he's also dealt with multiple injuries this year, was able to fight through it, still is on top. I give Carlos Alcaraz for this year, I give him an A+. There are only two
Yes.
top dogs this year, and there are only two beasts, and their names are Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, and because of that, we know.
Okay,
we know,
okay.
We know
Love
Alcaraz
it.
is top dog.
Okay,
That's
okay, okay.
Absolutely
Fine.
love it. Absolutely love it.
He's Alcaraz. He's a beast. Can't blame it. Can't blame
And
it.
he's
I'm
so
not gonna
awesome.
push back.
He's just so awesome.
Okay, fine. Let's move on to the German Sasha Zverev. Alexander Zverev he caught fire this year. 67 wins this year. Crazy. Only handful of people have done that ever. So guys, what do you think of Zverev's year?
Smile, you go ahead. Let me hear.
Yeah. Well, Haroon, you mentioned it, right? He caught fire, especially towards the end of the year, and I felt a special focus. You know how after he won Paris, he was on the practice courts. After he was winning against, even in the ATP finals in the early round matches, the round robin matches, he was back on the practice courts after these wins. He has a deep commitment to winning, to improving. I don't know if he's ever had that level of commitment before. In any case, I love to see it. Grand Slams, guys, he started off, of course, semi-final when he lost to Medi. In 5, in the Australian Open, Roland Garros final, lost to Alcaraz in 5. Wimby, Fritz took him out. US Open, Fritz also took him out again. And he also made the semi-finals of the ATP finals. Overall, quite a great year. My issue with Sasha is that I'm
Come
waiting
on, give us a grade, man. Give us a grade.
I'm waiting. I want to see Sasha win the big matches, and I want to see him be more dominant against the top 10 players. And I'm still not seeing that, despite these
Beat
really
Alcaraz
deep
in
runs.
Australian Open, but okay.
Yeah,
And
but-
an ATP finals.
but not
And
yet
ATP
lifting the not lifting the titles yet. And so, he's fit as a bull. Amazing year.
Give us a
Insane
grade.
number of wins. Because of that, I give him an A-.
Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna have to give some pushback on that. Yousef, come on, go.
Well, what I can't add
Watch
much
him
to
agree with
Sasha's
me.
season. Can't add much
Probably.
to Sasha's season. To me, him making the RG final for the first time was I love to see it. And yeah, to me the only thing missing is winning that Grand Slam. But he won Rome and he won Paris, so he wins 2 Masters titles. Then he goes back to world number 2. So he's close now. Like.
No offense,
The
but we know
mindset-
it's Sinner and Alcaraz that are 1 and 2. Like, he's not really.
No, he's coming.
the
He's
right
coming.
two.
That mindset that you talked about, I can see it. I can feel it. Like the energy's shifting. So I imagine more's gonna happen for him next season. Because if you can see it and if you believe it, then you'll achieve it. Let's see. But to me, I'm gonna also. I do, Ismaeel, agree with you. I'm gonna give him an A- on this season. Give that it's. That slam, winning that slam, it was gonna be completely different. But to me, that he's been unable to win that, which is actually it's a summary of his entire career. At the moment, he's won everything else. So for me, it's an A- for Sasha. But I love everything about Sasha, and I expect a slam in this coming season for him. But A- for me for the 2024 season, amazing from Sasha.
Okay, fine. Just to put this into perspective here, you know how many people got more than 67 wins? Well, let's say 68 to 69 plus wins every year, like in a season. Nadal never did it, by the way. Nadal never got more than 67 wins in a season. So just to put this into perspective, Federer, Djokovic, and Rod Laver and John McEnroe. Only 4 players in history that ever got more than 67 wins in a 67.
Lendl didn't have more. Lendl
No.
had more.
No, Lendl didn't have more than
That's an interesting stat. Okay.
69 or plus. I looked this up today, so maybe on a website, but we'll check. Hey Jamie, pull it up. Anyways, assuming that is true, okay, assuming that we take that for a fact, that is elite. You know, you're in an elite company already with one of the legends of the history of tennis, and yeah, it takes a dip because he didn't win any really, significant slam or ATP finals, but he won ATP finals before. Yeah, you guys are saying he didn't win a slam, but still, he's close to Sinner. Sinner has 73 wins. He has 69. Still, it's really hard to do that ever. So he has to get an A. He gets an A, and he could have gotten A plus. Maybe but he got owned by Fritz this year, so he can't get an A plus. He can't be owned by Fritz, and he's 8-7 by the way. His top 10, versus top 10, and 4 of those are to Fritz. So A2 if you remove Fritz, so it's fine, but still you can't be owned by Fritz and get an A plus. Not
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
that's
the theme continues. I have no idea how you're using your grading system.
I just told you.
yeah,
69 wins being an elite company.
Okay.
You can
Okay. But also, by the way, I just checked now, and Ivan Lendl, exactly as I said, in 1985 he was 84 wins, 7 losses, and in 1986 74 wins and 6 losses. So please put some respect on Ivan Lendl's name.
Well, then good that you checked it. Good. Okay.
Yeah. Well, then, last but not least, we have to talk about the man of the hour, the king of tennis, the superstar of 2024, and the new face of tennis, Jannik Sinner. He's the last one on our list. Ismaeel, come on. What did you give this man?
There's no other grade that you can give this man other than the grade I'm about to give him. Just super consistent, super dominant. I've never seen anyone hit the ball so hard off.
So dominant.
All year long, he's been just so dominant against top 10. peaking in the biggest tournaments of the world. No one really can compete to him. People walk on the court, they know they're going to lose to him. All he cares about is improvement. He's so humble. Brings home the Davis Cup, brings home the Masters, brings home slams. There's no other grade. It's an A+ for Jannik Sinner this year. Amazing season.
Haroon.
Well done. Yeah, well, like I said in the beginning, I grade on a curve. So there has to be somebody that gets the best grade. Has to be somebody that has to get a lower grade. So you can't. It's not just weird like you. Oh, hey, this guy gets an A. Oh, this guy gets a B-. Weird. So it has to be kind of like a curve.
Let's see what everyone says. Let's see what
he gets.
Okay.
He gets an A+. He gets an A+, 73 wins and 6 losses, with only losing to Alcaraz and a few other people this year. That's insane. Nobody can even comprehend a season like that. That is untouchable. Obviously, then you have the legends. It's a legendary season.
It's a legendary season. It is a
winning
legendary
2 slams and winning in ATP finals, and you're competing in every single tournament you step on.
He didn't lose before the quarterfinals in any tournament he played this season.
Amazing.
Only twice. Only twice he made it, lost in quarters or something like that.
And he was undefeated on hard this year? Or undefeated on indoor hard?
No, he didn't play Paris.
What did you give him, Haroon? Did you give a grade?
I give an A+.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be an A+.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn. Take it away. Are you going to give it a C- or something? Or what? Because
I can't add much to what you guys said, but obviously amazing season. One of the best seasons I think we've seen all time. We need to have another discussion of where it falls within the seasons, because if we just look at percentage, it's the 9th best season of all time. But I think maybe it could go higher, maybe it could go lower. That's a debate for another episode. I do have to say though, because then I need to ask you guys the question: does the doping thing affect the grade in any way?
I didn't think about that. But if you're really, maybe, but then that's gonna take us into a really weird, messy discussion.
No, but should it take a hit because he did test positive for
me?
Like,
if
there is
like,
something there.
As far as I understand, it's not something that was an amount that should be enhancing his performance, and if it didn't, then I don't want to ruin his reputation.
I don't know.
And I don't take away from it. And the fact that he was, if this ends up in a different scenario and they find out that really what he did was cheating, then I'll feel much differently. but I was very impressed by how he handled that all year and to still manage to just win and dominate despite all the allegations and conversations. That was in itself a sign of his mental.
We can revisit this conversation after the final results.
I was having this debate with myself because am I going to knock him? Am I going to knock him for that issue? Am I not going to knock him for that issue? Because if you don't knock him for the issue, obviously it's an A+. And I went back and forth with myself, and I think at the end I reached the conclusion it's an A+, 100%. What happened with the doping issue, we're gonna find out. But at the moment, he is innocent, and Jannik Sinner, I feel like he's an amazing character, and he seems like a great person with some great values. So I'm gonna go with innocent till proven guilty, and that's the approach I'm gonna take. Even though the WADA takes a different approach with some guys sometimes. But no, A+ for me, and 100%.
To be fair though, he started showing elite level tennis by the end of last year, so you could already see it coming. Like we didn't see that amazing of a season, but you saw something similar coming up, especially after he beat Djokovic.
And no straight sets losses like all year. That's insane.
Yeah. No, well, that's amazing. That was amazing. That was fun though, giving out those grades, and we disagreed a lot, but
just a round of applause for everybody also for having a great season.
Yeah,
round of applause.
Also, hopefully no one takes this the wrong way. These top 10 guys, you guys are awesome. We're nitpicking.
Yeah. This is just discussing in a different world here, assuming they're all but it's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy. Are you gonna do another counter for me?
Maybe. Let's move on. Okay, so we gave our grades for the top 10 players of the season, but before these guys, they all said goodbye. But before they go, let's just talk about one specific thing that I want to ask. It's a question I want to ask. Is this the best retirement class we've ever seen in history? So let me just break down some of the guys that are retiring. So we have Rafa, obviously we all know that. We have Dominic Thiem, Andy Murray, and then if you go down the list, you have guys like John Millman, Pablo Cuevas, Ivo Karlovic, Steve Johnson. And then obviously in the women we have Angelique Kerber, Grand Slam champion. We have Alizé Cornet also. So I want to ask you guys: is this the best retirement class in history? Just a quick question.
For sure. Yeah. You have. Yeah, for sure.
It's an awesome class, and I think we also have Krajinovic, who's a Masters champion, and we have Koolhof, doubles king. So it's a packed class.
Who ended Rafa's career this year?
True.
Botic, but the Koolhof in another way. But if you compare maybe to the 2022 class where you had Roger, you had Serena, you had Ash Barty. Also, is Delpo part of this class, or is he part of the 2022 class? Because that's when he actually retired.
I have no idea.
And then you had Tsonga, Kevin Anderson, Gilles Simon. So 2022, I think that's also a class that'll be fun. If the 2022 retirement class played against the 2024 retirement class, what would that look like?
If you have Rafa retiring, he already makes that the best retirement class already with his resume.
Roger in 2022. And Andy.
No, but
also, you have Andy.
But
and Dominic Thiem.
But Rafa arguably now has a better CV. So more slams, more titles. You have Andy also, more slams, more titles. Team, more slams, more titles. Already that's it.
Yeah, but I guess that's a question. I want if you guys have a say on this. Was it the 2022 class or the 2024 class? Who do you take as the best retirement class in history?
Yeah.
But moving on, we have one thing we want to talk about, and one of my favorite segments is the spicy, no spicy segment.
No spicy.
A little bit spicy. Sorry, not as spicy at all.
So, Ismaeel, we didn't have much to talk about this week, but I think you found something and you have a bone to pick. Take it. You let us know what you have.
Yeah, guys, I don't know if you're following, or of course you're following. We saw Carlitos, he's been quite busy this off-season with exhibitions. Last week he was playing the Garden Cup. It was this exhibition match in the Madison Square Garden against Shelton. and then he went on to play another exhibition match in Charlotte. So he's doing some kind of, marketing.
A U.S. tour.
Yeah, like a mini U.S. tour. And, I'm feeling a bit weird about it because, we saw how he ended his ATP finals. He was, he caught that cold. He wasn't feeling good. He spoke earlier this year about how demanding the season is and how tough it was to deal with the injuries he had. And now he's doing these exhibitions in the U.S. And, that's a double-edged sword, these exhibitions. We saw Casper Ruud before go on that tour with Rafa, and then how the next year he came out pretty flat. Zverev also went on a tour with Federer before, and then a similar effect. So, while, of course, they do have to get the bag, they do have to make sure that they also don't sacrifice future bags. Because, everyone on the tour is sharpening their tools and their knives. And Carlitos, of course, he's a legend. And he's the alpha right now, him and Sinner. But I wonder if he might get too sucked into these. And if it will cost him when it comes time for the new season to begin. Of things he wants to sharpen in his game. I mean, who am I to say Alcaraz has anything else to sharpen or improve? But, we've seen this kind of, backfire against some top players before. And I'm just wondering, is this something good for Carlitos or not?
You want to go teach him the time value of money? I don't know. Maybe he has obviously Carlos Ferrero in his corner telling him what and what not to do, also giving him advice. I think it's fine unless he's really playing that a lot. If that's his way of also cooling off, maybe in a way, being friendly and enjoying his time. I don't see any harm in it.
Yeah. If you actually look at it, it's just like it was 2 or 3 days. He was enjoying it. He took some time off. He said he needed a break. He took a break, and maybe that's what these guys love tennis. So if this can be a way to spark that again and make him love tennis the same way he loves it, because sometimes when you're in it every day, week in and week out, tournaments, you sometimes fall out of love. So maybe this would, doing exhibitions, having fun. It looks like he's having so much fun. So it maybe has a completely different effect. He's not going on a tour. It was like just 2 days, 2 matches. Not that big of an issue to me. To me, no spicy.
Yeah, no spicy. No spice. No.
I
It's
hope
not
it's
not
no
a
spice.
spice. Not a spicy. Not a spicy.
I think it's no spicy.
I hope so, because
spice.
we need that. We need Carlitos. All right, guys. We had such a fun season. We wanted to wrap up this season and this episode talking about what was our favorite match of the year. We had a lot of amazing candidates. This season has been so long. We have so many fun things happen. Guys, what was your favorite match of the year, Yousef?
There's so many amazing matches this season. But I think my favorite match, the one that I go back and I'm like, that was the best time I had watching a tennis match, was probably Novak Djokovic against Lorenzo Musetti in Roland Garros.
Good match.
That match was an amazing match. It was absolute gladiator battle between these two. The first 2 sets, I think they took like 2 hours and 15 minutes to play. And Lorenzo Musetti was playing as if he was prime Roger Federer. That backhand was just whipping. That forehand was working so smooth. And he was coming forward. Also, we know that Musetti has just amazing tennis and the touch and the volleys and coming in, being aggressive and winners and approach shots. And I just love the match. And then you can see, I in the middle of the third set, I don't even remember, I think we were 3 hours in or something like that. And then you're like, I'm watching the match. Is this actually Lorenzo Musetti's match? Is he going to win this? Is he going to take down Djokovic? Because Djokovic wasn't playing bad. He was playing good tennis. But at the same time, Lorenzo's not backing down. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is Lorenzo's time. We saw that before Roland Garros, he was up 2 sets to love against him. And then obviously Djokovic came back, and being the mental giant that he is, he came back and won the match. But to me, exactly as we heard before, Andy Roddick said this best. He said, first he takes your legs and then he takes your soul. And that's exactly what Novak did. Came back after being down 2 sets to 1. And then you're like, oh, is he hobbled? No, he just stuck with it, won the fourth set, and then basically won 10 of the last 11 games, I think, and then beat him in the last set, gave him a bagel in the last set to take him down. And then it was
the bagel at the end was just rude.
at 3 a.m. So it's at 3 a.m. and this match goes, I think, how long did this match go?
4
This
hours
match
and a
go
half.
4 hours?
And a half.
4 hours and a half. This match went 4 hours and a half.
29 minutes.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Amazing.
4 hours and 29 minutes at 3 a.m. Djokovic is a 37-year-old man, and this is a 22-year-old in his prime.
It's a geezer.
And Novak came back and and he just showed why he is who he is. And the tennis was amazing. I encourage anyone to go back and watch that match. If you don't have the time to watch the match, go watch the highlights because it was just an epic match. And to me, it was my favorite match of this season. By far, and that one takes the cake. Novak Djokovic against Lorenzo Musetti, Roland Garros 2024.
He's like Musetti.
Amazing match.
Musetti never backs down against Djokovic. He's like he wants to face Djokovic for some reason.
He brings out like his best tennis against Djokovic. That's true.
Even though in Wimbledon we saw it wasn't the case. I expected but the Roland Garros was the match where Musetti actually brought his best tennis, and that was, I think, maybe that also was the catalyst for what happened to him in Wimbledon, making it to the semifinals. But it was an amazing match from both guys overall. But just showing again, Djokovic, just a mental giant.
Elite. And by the way, the match after that, Djokovic went 4 hours and 39 minutes with Surundo. So just to that.
Ridiculous.
But with a torn MCL. Let's just remember that it was a torn MCL, and the guy's winning 5-set matches. Insane.
Amazing.
And Haroon, do you have one?
Well, I have to say, to me, the most entertaining match this year was the RG final with Alcaraz against Zverev. That was awesome. To me, it was so fun. There was a lot of ups and downs from both players.
Yeah.
It was kind of like they were giving it to each other. Hey, no, you win, no, you win. And then both of them were just fire. Both fire. Everything is going. Like I just had a thought, sometimes when you just play for fun or something like that, and then you just like hit a ridiculous shot that is just going to be out or you're not going to get it. But then you're like, what if I got that? That would be so awesome. I feel like Alcaraz just hits all of these what if shots that you imagine hitting, and they all just come. He just tries everything he wants, with his back foot, just crazy stuff. I love that match. My favorite part of that match was how smooth Alcaraz was. From he hit a shot and it hit the net, so he's apologizing to Zverev. So and then the quick smooth transition from sorry to come on, that was so fun. It was so cool.
And then they were showing the Coupe de Mousquetaire in the end. It was just that was, I think so.
Yeah.
And you could see Sasha's face. Just it was so sad.
Yeah.
Just disappointment.
Yeah. And
That I feel like every few weeks I that video turns up for me on X.
yeah. Everybody else showed
Same thing.
so. And it perfectly meshes, how he respects the game and he respects the players, but also he shows his passion and intensity. He's like, yeah, sorry, guy. Yeah. That was cool. But also during the match, we're all expecting Zverev, come on, become an alpha, take the next step, beat the best players, and don't shy away from the moment. And then in the beginning, it felt like, it's gonna be like is this Alcaraz? Is he gonna win this easily? And then Zverev obviously was suddenly just started to just go ballistic and hit amazing shots and be courageous and brave. It didn't feel like, when you watch Sinner now, it feels like he's not scared. He cares absolutely. He doesn't care at all about the moment. But Zverev, he cares so much about the moment, and you feel that he's scared, but he's still going for good shots, and he's still, attacking and not shying away. So that was nice to see. But then, it was, and his forehand was dipping a bit. He was shanking. That was a weakness that he kind of has, but he hates his forehand. He even called it ugly. But it was doing good, and obviously that in the end that controversial game, 2-1. Zverev was trying to break back against Alcaraz, and he had love 40, and then calls with the umpire and whatever and stuff like that. It could have been, a more exciting fifth set, but yeah, it was super fun, amazing level of tennis, and yeah, that was my favorite match of the year. It was also a brutal grudge match, 4 hours and 8 minutes or something like that. It was 4+ hours at least. So yeah, that was an amazing match for me. What about you, Smiley?
It was a fun match, by the way, but I didn't consider that one of the matches that had the level of tennis I expected from these guys, and I felt like.
Too much ups and downs.
It was too much ups and downs, and it wasn't. They weren't playing their best. I felt like none of them
at the same time.
Yeah, they never played the best tennis at the same time. It was like Zverev played well, then Alcaraz, then Zverev, then it wasn't like a
which was similar
match.
A bit to the semifinal when he played against Alcaraz Sinner. It was the same.
Yeah.
This guy plays good, then this guy plays good,
and the whole time
it was a 5-set match, but.
Yeah, and I felt that whole match. I really had no doubt that Alcaraz would win, and Alcaraz. I don't think he should have won that match, but just showed how clutch he is. But also, I want to give hats off to Zverev, because if you guys remember, he had one of the weirdest runs. Maybe if he had won the title, it would have been one of the most iconic runs, because remember he played Rafa in the first round, and then we thought, is Rafa going to take him out in round 1? He played Goffin, round 2. Round 3 runs into Grigor, who's had terrible luck this season. Then he takes out Haroon, round of 16, a very good clay court player. Demon, quarterfinals, Ruud, and then he runs into Carlitos. So it was going to be an epic run. But the quality of the match, honestly, it wasn't what I was hoping for. I thought we could have had a more fun match.
Then what was your pick, Sway?
Yeah, what's your pick?
Yeah, well, guys, my pick has to be none. So this goes way back into the season, but my pick of the year is the Australian Open final. And because the storyline going in was awesome. It was an awesome match. Australian Open final between Jannik Sinner, of course, and Daniil Medvedev. It was, there was so much hype around it because up until then, first of all, Sinner had yet to win a slam, right? And so it's okay, is Sinner finally going to be able to get over the hump? And you know what? He runs into Djokovic in the semifinal, and we're like, all right, is this the carryover from the Davis Cup? Is it going to carry over here, or is this Djokovic's turf and he's going to stay untouchable? He runs through Djokovic in 3 sets. Hugely unexpected.
No, it was 4 sets.
Sorry, 4 sets. He runs through Djokovic. Match was never that competitive, in my opinion. And he gets to the final. When you get to the final after you've beaten a legend, we've seen players have letdowns because they're like, oh my God, I beat the GOAT in his home turf. Sometimes there's a letdown in the final. On the other hand, we had Medi, and if you guys remember, Medi's Australian Open last year was just so awesome. It was just brute force. He had played 3 5-set matches before getting to the final. So if I'm going to remember this correctly, the 5
was it the most? It was the most time spent on court on your way to a Grand Slam
something.
final.
I think so. I think he had
so.
the most time on court to a final because he had the 5. He came back from 2 sets to love down against Hubi Hurkacz in the quarterfinals. He had to play a 5-set match against Rosavori in the second round, and he had to come back from 2 sets down against Zverev in the semifinal to beat him in 5. And that was just an absolute bloodbath of a match.
I think more than 20 hours. More than 20 hours or something at least.
It was unbelievable effort for him to get to the final. And so the question in my mind going in is, how in the world is he going to have the gas in the tank to take out Sinner? Like, this guy is crushing the ball. He's playing the best tennis.
He had it for 2 hours.
He had it.
He had it. And the thing is, he had it for 2 sets. For 2 hours and 2 sets, he took a 2 sets to love to lead. He took a 2 sets to love lead. And if you guys remember, Medi was playing a very different style of game. He was very aggressive. He was attacking. He was moving forward. He was cramming the baseline. He was playing up front. He was Sinner had no idea what to do because this is not the Medvedev who he's used to playing. And Medvedev had to do that because Medvedev used to have a winning record. I think it was 6-0 against Sinner. And then all of a sudden Sinner won the last 3 matches. So he knew he had to play a different style if he wanted to compete and beat Sinner in the final. And he had him. He had him for 2 sets. And it was, and then Sinner takes the third. In the 4th set, Medi also had, I think it was 3-all or 3-4. He had the break point to go up a break in the 4th set and then serve for it. He wasn't able to convert. And then history was the rest, right? Because Sinner comes back, he takes the fourth, he takes the fifth. Amazing effort for Sinner. I think Mehdi ran out of gas. I think he couldn't keep playing that same style, whether for physical reasons or mental reasons or a combination of both. But it was so competitive and the suspense was amazing. We were all on our toes. For me, that was the best match of the year. I had so much fun watching that match. It was such a fun, great match.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about that match was the thing I loved most. I felt like we were watching someone transform into something else. We were watching Jannik Sinner transform from a great player to maybe someone who's on his way to becoming one of the greatest players of all time if he can keep this momentum going. I felt like that was the switch. Like he was evolving into something else, and that's what I liked most about that match. And it was nice. It was nice to, I guess, take that in and witness that, like, okay, this Jannik Sinner is here, and Jannik Sinner's on a mission. He's on a mission.
It really felt like it was the birth of a great champion by taking out Djokovic and then coming back from 2 sets to love down in a Grand Slam final against a slam
For your
winner.
first slam, like that. That's how you're winning your first slam. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Against Medvedev, who is a slam winner and who's done it before, who's not afraid of the moment, and he just snatched it away from him. And I felt like we could see that we knew the comeback was happening also, because I felt like Mehdi just doesn't have the gas and he can't keep playing this aggressive. It's not his style. It was fun. It was awesome. It was just so fun.
Yeah, but so those are some great picks from you guys. Some amazing matches. I think each one has their own favorite, which is the best thing about a segment like this. Each one to each his own. But that wraps up our episode. Episode 5 is in the books. Thank you guys for watching. If you've been watching, thank you for listening and spending time with us this week. We'll see you guys next week, and we have a very special episode for you guys because we are giving out some awards. I am hyped. I know Ismaeel's hyped. I know Haroon's hyped.
Bling, baby.
We got our creative juices flowing, and hopefully next week we have a fun episode for you guys. So see you then. Thank you for listening once again. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, tell us
How
about
was
our
this
grades.
episode?
Do you agree with our grades or not?
Yeah, especially the grades. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. See you next week. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Have a good night. Good night. Good night. Very good night.